everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Murtaza and today I'm going to do a practice test on Revit for structural design. There are 50 questions and it might take quite time, so be patient. Let's go to the test. When you go to the Autodesk website, if you want to get certified by the Autodesk and get the title Autodesk Certified Professional in Revit for structural design, you go and find the course, which is basically Revit for Structural Design Professional Certification Prep, and there are models that you can study and do the practice test, watch the videos, and after doing so, then you are able to do the practice test. This practice test is part of the course, and this course is in line with the Autodesk Certified Professional in Revit for Structural Design exam objectives. So when you click in this link, you go to this page, and here you click on prepare for the exam, and you can find the course here. And this course is 11-hour course, and once you complete it, then you're ready to sign up for the exam. Regarding this certification, the skills required for the test to pass the exam is that you would basically have around 400 to 1,200 hours of real world Revit software experience. You must have done some projects, and there are 5 parts, and these 5 parts are also 5 parts that you need to prepare. Basically, the first one is modeling and materials, and it accounts for 20% of the exam. Families account for 18% of the exam. Documentation for 22% of the exam. Views for 18%, and Revit project management accounts for 22% of the exam. To see the exam objectives, you click on this link and you get this PDF file where you can read and then prepare for exam according to these exam objectives and the exam outline, basically available here. So you need to prepare for all these topics, and then you can register for the exam. I have prepared one video regarding these exam objectives. I will share the link in the comment, and then you can click on it, you can watch it and have a good understanding of the exam objectives and the exam topics. The test that we are doing today is in line with this exam objectives and the course. So let's go to the test. So in real test, there is 120 minutes time, and it consists of 45 to 60 questions. In this test, there are 50 questions, and let's see how many questions we answer correctly. After completing all the questions, then we will submit it, and automatically we will get the results. So let's go to the first question. First question is, a type catalog requires 2 files to be present in the same directory. What are the file extensions of these 2 files? To have a type catalog in Revit family, we need a Revit file, family file, and a text. So this is the correct answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. Next question is an exhibit, and here it's about type properties, and the question is, the structural designer creates a tapered wall with an exterior angle of 15 degrees and an interior angle of set to 2 degrees. How should the cross-section definition parameters be enabled in the type properties dialog? So here, if you want to activate the cross-section definition parameters, let's check the answers. Set the function parameters to retaining. Edit the structure and enable a structural material option. Edit the structure and set one layer as variable. Select the preview button and set the view to section. So this is the answer if you want to have variable this one, or in the wall type, we need to define one of the layers to be variable. So this is the answer. Let's go to this next question. Next question is also an exhibit, and here says that dimensions have been placed in a single operation by selecting the wall shown in the exhibit. So this is the wall that the dimensions have been placed in a single operation, and with the wall selected, which option should be used in order to do so? Okay, how can we basically annotate this wall once? Just by one click here on the tab, annotate tab, select detail group. No. On the modify wall tab, select activate controls and dimensions. No. On the modify wall tab, select align dimensions. On the option bars, select the entire walls. So this is the answer, and we don't need to read the other option. If you want to dimension series of walls, we need to select the entire walls, and the walls should be basically on one line and straight. Okay, next question. A structural designer is working on a work shared model, so it's about coordination and collaboration in Revit, and the designer made changes to elements that were borrowed from another user. So the designer has made some changes that have been to the elements that have been borrowed from another user. The question is, which two actions could the designer take to relinquish the changed elements? So the designer has borrowed some elements from another user, and he has brought some changes. His decision is to relinquish the changed elements. Close the file without saving. That's one of the options. And click gray inactive worksets. No. Click synchronize with central. This is the answer. So there are two options, and we need to choose both. Next question, and this is an exhibit. It's about, so exhibit 1 is view specific element graphic, and here the color is blue and pattern is by object style. It's for the project lines, so we need to basically read the questions very carefully. Exhibit 2 is line graphics, and this is the section, and here the color is red and the pattern is no override, so there is no any override. And here in the object styles, this is the section 3 or exhibit 3, and here basically the color is green for structural foundations. The question is, a structural designer assigns the following colors. So blue to project lines of the selected foundation from the view specific element graphics as shown in graphic in the exhibit 1. Red to the line graphics of structural foundations from the visibility graphic override dialog as shown in exhibit 2. And green to line color of structural foundations from the object styles dialog as shown in exhibit 3. Which color will the lines of the selected foundation appear? Basically, this one doesn't change because there's no any override, and it doesn't affect the result. However, this one is visible, and the project lines is also blue, and the pattern is by object style. So this is the best option for this question, and the answer is blue. Next question. Here there is a warning, and the warning is an attached structural foundation will be moved to the bottom of the column. A structural designer has edited the base offset of structural column. While applying the edit, a warning dialog is displayed as shown in the exhibit. Which type of structural foundation has caused this warning dialog to display? So it's basically structural foundation, and it's about column. So the answer is isolated foundation, because columns mostly have isolated foundation, and the foundation is basically attached to the column. Next question, and the next question is an exhibit, and here structural designer has created a set of faces to demonstrate the construction sequence of a concrete basement. In the exhibit, you can see a series of steel props displayed with red dashed lines. So these are the steel props, and they are red. In the exhibit, the project requirements now ask for all demolished items to appear with a solid blue appearance. So in the face filter, the requirement is to show the demolished items in a solid blue appearance. How we can do that? Basically, on the Manage tab, click Faces. In the Facing dialog, select the Graphic Overrides tab. Look at the demolished face and select a solid blue material. So this is probably the best answer. Let's check the other answers. On the Manage tab, click Object Styles. In the Object Style dialog, expand the Structural Framing category and select the Demolished subcategory. Now, select the Steel Props on the Modify Structural column. Framing tab, click Paint. Now, select the Steel Props in the Properties, locate the Structural Material parameter. Now, so the first option is the best answer, correct answer. Refer to exhibit. A structural designer is reviewing a rebar elevation view. So this is a rebar elevation view, and discovers that the rebar set with 13 bars is only displayed a single bar. So there is a set of 13 bars, however, the view shows only a single bar. With the rebar set selected, what should be used to display all the rebars in the rebar set? How can we show all the 13 bars? So that's the question, and the answer. In the Properties palette, select View Visibility States. Ensure that the View Unobscured is selected. Now, on the Modify Rebar tab, select Edit Bars, select Reset All option. Now, in the Properties palette, select Visibility Graphic Overrides. Ensure that Structural Rebar category is selected. Now, on the Modify Rebar tab, select Show All Rebars in the rebar set. So this is the correct answer. We need to show all rebars. That's the answer. Next question is referred to in exhibit. Here, structural designer wants the area between grade 1 and grade 8 to have a different view range. So this is grade 1 and grade 8, and the designer wants to have a different view range for this space. How can this be accomplished on one structural plan view? So how can we have a different view range here? Answer, create a structural plan callout for each area and modify the view range of each callout. Now, callout view is when we want to show a specific part of the building, when we want to have details. Create a match line with grade 8 and modify the view range. No, match line is when we divide a view in 2 or 3 parts. It's not about showing modifying the view range. Create a scope box for each area and modify the view range. No, it's not possible to show all the parts using this scope box. And this is the answer. Create a plan region for each area and modify the view range. So if you want to show all the view in one view, we need to use the plan region and the plan region for each area and modify the view range for different regions. So that's the best answer. Next question. A structural designer selects a floor and expects to see the reinforcement panel displayed on the Modify Floor tab, but the reinforcement panel is not displayed. So what's the problem? How should the floor be modified? On the Modify Floor tab, click Edit Boundary and remove the slope arrow. Now, on the Modify Floors tab, click the Reset Shape command. Now, in the Properties palette, select the Structural Properties checkbox. So if you want to see the reinforcement panel, and this is the structural property of the column, or the floor, and you need to click ticket in order to see the reinforcement. Next question is, let's have two columns, one with rebars here and another without any rebars. Question is, structural designer wants pair 2 to have a rebar configuration identical to pair 3. So this is pair 3, and the structural designer wants this pair 2 to have the same reinforcement as 3. How this configuration would be accomplished? So the answer is, right click on the rebar pair 3 selected and select create similar. No. After adding the rebar in pair 3, select pair 3, click propagate rebar. So if you want to basically have similar reinforcement and similar elements, we need to propagate the rebar. So this is the answer. We skip reading the next answers. Next question is, refer to an exhibit. So this is the exhibit about editing a label, and the question is, the structural designer is creating a pile family that will be nested into a pile cap family. The pile cap family should support tagging and scheduling of the individual piles within the pile cap. Which options must be enabled? So this is a nested family, and how can we do so? Which option must be enabled? In the tagging of nesting family, basically we need to have a shared parameters, and this is the answer, and we skip reading the next options. Refer to an exhibit, and this is about type properties of a basic wall, and the question is, a structural designer is creating a pile family that will be nested into a pile cap family. The cap file family should support tagging. I think this is basically a repetition of the first question, and all the answers are the same. And if this is the case, then I think the answer should be the same, so we select the last option. Let's go to the next question, and the question is, a structural designer is attempting to transfer the project name and project date within an architectural model that has been linked. However, the designer gets the error shown in the exhibit. What is the causing issue? There are no open projects to transfer project standards from. So this is the error, and all of the linked models are unloaded. So this is option, and to save time we skip the rest. Next question is, a structural designer is working on a model that has a linked architectural Revit file. What should the designer do to make sure the architectural file is always loaded when both files are moved together to a new directory? When we link an architectural Revit file to a structural Revit file, and you want to move them at the same time, the link's path type should be relative, because when one of the file is moved, the other file is also moving relatively to the other file. Next question, the origin of a family is defined by the intersections of two reference plans, with which instance properties control this function. When we have two reference plans, and it defines basically the origin, and this is the answer. Here we have an exhibit, and the exhibit is about a schedule. The question is, a structural designer is applying conditional formatting to a structural framing schedule. How many rows will be highlighted in red once the formatting is applied? Here we see condition, this is about text, value, field, and this is the 2, and the answer is 2, so 2 rows will be red. This is another exhibit, the question, and the question is that there are 4 walls which have been tagged in a structured plan, and the tags are horizontal. All of these tags are horizontal, however the elements are not horizontal. The structural designer requires the tags to be aligned to each wall and has attempted to change the orientation to the model, however the tags are remaining horizontal. So how can we align this? Question is, how can we align these tags with the walls? To align the tags with the wall, we need to basically rotate with component. With a wall tag selected, right click and choose edit family, of course, and in the properties palette select rotate with component. So this is the answer, and we skip reading the next options. This is the next question. A structural designer has deleted a multi-segmented dimension that was applying an equality constraint to several grids. However, the constraint is still applied. Although the designer has deleted all the multi-segmented dimension, but the constraint is still applied, how can we view the constraint? In the View tab, select Show Hidden Lines and select All Grids. No. Select another dimension, right click and select EQ Display. No. On the Quick Access Rebar, select Activate Controls and Dimensions. With a single grid selected, right click and select All Instances. So this is the answer and the final option. Next question is, to restore a selection set that has been cleared, which key combination is used? If you want to restore the selection set that has been cleared, we use Control and left arrow. So find it, Control and left arrow keys. That's the answer. And next question is an exhibit, and here we have, of course, properties palette here, and also properties palette of the sheet, and this is the revision. Question is, a structural designer wants to edit the current revision description parameter. So this is the current revision description, and current revision, yeah. But the properties are displayed as shown in exhibit. Which of the following must be used to make the edit? Currently it's not editable, and to enable that, we basically in the properties palette, click the revisions on sheet edit button, deselect the shown in revision schedule checkbox. In the View tab, select revisions command. In the sheet issue revisions dialogs, deselect the checkbox in the issued column. So this is the answer. And next question, what occurs when coordinates are acquired from a linked model? When we acquire coordinates from a linked model, the coordinates of the linked model establish the shared coordinate system of the host model. That's the answer. And next question is basically a schedule, and question is, what should be used to keep only elements with type marks F1 or F2? So to keep only these elements F1 and F2, we need to use the filter. That's the answer. And next exhibit, and this is about callout view, and the question is, structural designer is placing the callout but cannot use the reference other view command. So if you see here, the other reference other view is gray, and the designer cannot choose it. What's the reason? Reason is this is the only callout view that has been displayed or placed in the model. That's the answer. A structural designer is working on a model that has concrete foundations appearing on multiple views. The designer wants all foundation lines to appear in blue on all views. How this can be accomplished? So if you want to see the blue lines in all views in the concrete foundation, we need to Okay, select all foundation 3D view and assign a blue, no. Open a 3D view and assign blue to structural foundations, cut lines, no. Modify the log colors of the structural foundations to blue from model objects tab of the line of the object style dialog. Modify the shading of the concrete material, assign to foundations to blue from graphics tab of the material browser. This is tricky questions. From the model objects tab of the objects. Okay, I guess this is the correct answer, but then we can check it later. This is not the answer, then this is absolutely the answer. Next question is, a Revit template is about to be upgraded to the current version. Prior to opening the template and upgrading, the structural designer has decided to scan and fix potential elements that have been corrupt. How should the template be scanned and upgraded? If you want to remove the corrupt files, the corrupt elements, we need to audit. So finding the keyword audit is our key and our answer, and this is the answer. It's about maintenance and health of our Revit project. Next question is an exhibit, and the structural designer has placed a connection between the structural column and two braces. So there are two braces and one structural column, and there is one connection. A symbolic presentation of steel connection is displayed here with no alternative connection available in the properties palette. What steps are required to see a detailed connection type in the type selection drop down menu? If we want to see the connection types, we go on the structure tab in the connection panel and select the structural connection, and there in the structural connection setting dialog add the required connection, and this is the answer. Next question is a view, and the structural view basically has a scope box, and the structural designer has defined the scope box in a view to control the visual layout of the 6 grids shown. While viewing the south elevation, grid 1, 2, and 3 are not displayed. So when you see the south elevation view, grid 1, 2, 3 are not displayed. Which of the following options must be used to display the grids? If you want to display all the grids, we need to extend the elevation, the scope box in the south elevation view, because this is about the south elevation. And we select the scope box, and in the properties palette select visible view and override the visibility of the scope box in the south elevation. So that's the answer, and here is a masking region and exhibit, and the question is, a detail component has been created to hide elements by using a masking region. So this is created to hide the elements behind. However, when it placed in a view, it does not hide the elements, so we see all the elements behind. What should be done to mask the geometry? How can we basically change this to hide the elements behind? For that, we need to select the detailed component and select bring to front, and then we are able to hide it from the view. Refer to exhibit, and this is a wall, different walls, and this is the legend view of the wall, and the question is, structural designer is required to create a key displaying the various wall types used within the structural project. The key should remain associated to all the wall types, so if the material for one thickness are updated, the key should also update. How should the wall key be created? How can we create this one? The answer is that we need to create a legend in the annotation menu, and then we create all the walls as here and all the types, and then we place this legend to a sheet. So create a new legend view. On the annotation tab, click the legend component and place it an instance for each wall family required. Place the new view legend to the relevant sheets. So this is the correct answer. Next question is, a structural designer needs to provide an Excel spreadsheet of material takeoff to a cost estimator. How this is accomplished? If we want to have an Excel spreadsheet, we need to export it to Excel sheet and find the word Excel and open the schedule view and report, export reports as a schedule. Open the file and save as Excel. So that's the question. That's the answer. This is another exhibit, and here the beam is attached to a round column. So this is one column, another one here, and the diameter is 305 millimeter. The question is, what is the value of the start joint cutback? Because there are two sides and the start back accounts for both sides. So here we add the diameter, which is the same for both sides, and 305 times 2, so this is basically 2 feet or 610 millimeters. Next question is also an exhibit, and here we have the model has two design options. So this model has two design options. One is radial option and another is a square option. A structural designer is trying to work on the square option. The current design option is set correctly to a square option on the status bar. However, the radial option is displayed on the drawing area. How should the designer display the correct option? The correct option basically means the square option. How can we see the square option? On the status bar, deselect active only. No. On the design option dialog, select square option, and under options click make it primary. No. And the view, select all of the views that needs to be on the square option and then select that's it. Now in the visibility graphic dialog, design options tab, set the current design options to square option. This is the correct answer. And next exhibit is revisions, and it is about a set of alternative bait sets and sheet revisions have been created for a project. How would the designer customize the mark values as shown in the exhibit? How can we customize the mark value here? The answer is that in the sheet revision dialog, go to numbering and create a new numbering sequence. So this is the correct answer, and we need to go ahead. Okay, a beam system contains 5 W810. Structural designer wants to change the second W810 to W612. What process should they follow? I think it's we just click the second and pin it and change it to W612. Let's go to the next question, and here we have, when creating a wall foundation, which type of properties differentiates between a retaining and a bearing foundation? The structural usage, I think, is very important, whether we use for retaining or bearing. And this is, let's see how many answers. Okay, we have 14 questions unanswered. I will take a break and then continue the next questions. Okay, let's go to the next questions. And this is also an exhibit, and some of these items or elements have been graded, and the question is, a structural designer wants to edit the visibility of several categories in the visibility graphic override dialog. All the categories are disabled as shown in the exhibit. And the question is, which steps must be taken to override the visibility of categories? First, in the View tab, select Filters command. In the Filters dialog, remove any active filters on the current view. Now, select one element of each category. On the View control bar, select Temporary Hide Isolate. Hide selected categories. Apply the Hide Isolate to the view. Now, close the project in the Open dialog. Select Detached from Central. Now, and the Properties palette, select Active View Template. In the Assign View Template dialog, set the view template to None. So this is the answer. If you want to see all the elements, we need to do not assign the view template. So that's the answer. The next question is about beam schedules, and here a structural designer has created a structural framing schedule which includes a custom parameter span to depth ratio. Each steel beam will need to be tagged with the span to beam depth ratio value in several views. Okay, the answers in the Formatting tab, click the Conditional Formatting button and create a new condition. Now, in the Field tab, click the New Parameter button, and the Parameter Properties dialog, create a new shared parameter. And I think this is the answer because we want to have this on several, basically on several beams. Let's go to the next question, and the next question is a structural plan view named Plan A has two dependent view, Plan B and C. What happens when elements in Plan C are tagged? So when Plan C is tagged, when the Plan C is tagged, then of course it changes the Plan A, but it doesn't affect Plan B because Plan B is different. It's basically another view of the Plan A. Okay, we go to the next question, and it is about an exhibit. Here, question is: a structural designer would like to change the cut patterns for all concrete elements in all views. All the concrete elements are assigned the same structural material. The cut pattern should be changed to a solid gray fill as shown in the exhibit. So how can we do that? Which option should be used? On the Manage tab, select Object Styles. In the Object Style dialog, set the line pattern to solid. No, it's not about that. It is about solid gray fill. On the Manage tab, select Materials. In the Material browser dialog, change the cut pattern for a concrete material. So this is the answer, I think. Okay. I think this is the answer. Okay, now we go to the rest of the questions, and next question is: a structural designer wants to assign a concrete beam wall in a Revit project to a specific subcategory now named grade beams. The line ways and the line pattern will need to be modified for consistent drawing outputs. How should the concrete beams be placed on the required subcategory? How can we create a subcategory and then place it? Basically, we need to select a single concrete beam, and in the Modify Structural Framing tab, select Pick Family and select the solid representing the beam. In the Properties palette, select the relevant subcategory. On the Context tab, select Load into the project and close. So this is the option, the answer. This is also an exhibit, and here you see a footing and a slab on grade. So the question is what is the base level and top level of the selected column? So the selected column here is, I think this is the base and top level of the selected beam is that it has footing no, slab on grade no. The base slab is also slab on grade, and the top level is also on grade. So this is the answer, and we go to next question, and here it's about connection detail between the structural framing arrangement and the brick symbols and connection plate have been placed as detailed components but are not masking their structural framing. How should the problem be resolved? On the View tab, select Visibility Graphics. In the dialog, select Model Categories and ensure that the detail of items is selected. On the View control bars, select the Hidden Line Visual Style. I think this is the correct answer, and let's go to a circular column, and here we have rebars, and the question is, a structural designer has placed vertical reinforcement into a round column as a rebar set. Which reinforcement placement method has been used? This is basically freeform rebar. And next question is an exhibit, and it's also level 1, level 2, level 1, level 2, level 0, and here the question is, a structural designer notices that level 1 and level 0 appear to have the same elevation, even though they have spacing in between. What is the explanation? Basically, when we have different base view, and that's here. Each level has a different elevation base. So if they have the same elevation base, then there is not any height difference between. There is the space between these two levels are displayed. Next question is, a structural designer wants to determine if any of their structural columns have duplicate type mark. If we want to check the duplicate type mark in the structural columns, we need to go on the review warning, and there we can find the element, and then we can remove one of the duplicated type mark. The next question is an exhibit again, and here how many instance parameters are displayed in the family type dialog for a structural column family. So here we see that the structural material is one of the parameters on the materials and finishes, and this is of course the type parameter. In the dimensions there are two parameters, and 2 feet and 2 feet, and this is basically instant parameters, and the answer is this one. And here, if two views are added to a sheet, one with a scale of 1 foot equals to 1 inch equals to 1 foot, and the next one is 1/8 inch equals to 1 foot, what would the scale be, the scale level displayed? It is the answer, and so when we have multiple views with different scales, the level would be as indicated. Next question is, a structural designer wants to use an architect's AutoCAD drawing as a guide for the proposed design. So the AutoCAD file could be revised during the project, and the file name could change. On the Insert tab, which of the following tools must be used? Of course, it's link. So when we link an AutoCAD file with the Revit file, changing the file name, or yeah, it will not affect the project. Next question is also an exhibit, and here a structural designer is creating an lintel family that is embedded in a wall component. The designer wants to use the thickness of the wall in the formula by creating a parameter called wall thickness. How should this parameter be added to the family? How can we add wall thickness parameter so that it is embedded in a wall opening and it is part of the lintel family? Go to the family category and parameter, and in the family parameter select shared. Select the wall, click activate control and dimensions, and then add a family parameter. Dimension the wall and add an instance parameter, and then assign it as a reporting parameter. So this is the answer, and finally we are done and ready to submit. It was too long, but it's taking, as you see, about 1 hour. The real exam is about 2 hours, so I have been a bit quick, but let's see the result, how many answers we make correct. Okay, let's submit it. If you want to see how many answers are correct, you go on the last part, and here you see that 46 over 50 of the questions are correct, and four questions are wrong, and we can review our answers, our questions, and find. So you see these are correct, and you get a green tick, and there is written nice work. So this is the correct answer, at which are here. The tags are only visible on plan C and plan A. So this is not the answer. I believe when there is a dependent view and you want to change the label in the dependent view, it will be visible only on that plan. That is wrong, and see this one. Click on the second W10 and pin it and change it to W612. Yeah, this is wrong, because when we place a BIM system, it's acting as a system, and we cannot choose and unpin it. Let's go to the next question, and here next question is: a structural designer is working on a model that has a concrete foundation appearing on multiple views. The designer wants all foundation lines to appear in blue. So this is the correct answer, as I was in doubt, and I was not sure about this one. But when you are unsure, then you need to guess. Sometimes it's the answer, and this is not wrong, because you see here that the options are all the same, and we do not know. So 46 or 49 answers are correct. Then there are 3 wrong answers. I think if you get 3 wrongs, still you get passed. In this test, if you pass over 75%, if you score more than 75%, then you pass this course. But in the real exam, I think it also makes sense. So we have passed the exam, hopefully. Your assignment and homework is to find the answers for these 3 questions. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or any comments, you can write it directly to the comment, and I will answer your questions. Otherwise, I wish you all the best, and hope you like this video, and if you like, you can subscribe and also share with your friends. I wish you all the best and good luck. Thank you for watching.